everyone, and welcome back to Carlina Lewin Studios. Big apology, I have not been doing longer format videos for you guys, just because, to be honest, I got a little bit disencouraged, because there was no views, no comments, all that, and I thought, well, why be here if no one really cares? So that's a bit of a bad attitude to have. Since I actually post on other platforms daily, I just sort of thought, well, no need to be somewhere I'm not wanted. But that's just probably the algorithm. So let's just carry on. But first off, I apologise. I'm here. I'm going to show up more in the new year and do a lot more for you guys. So yeah, please accept my apologies. But moving on, I am doing a course shortly at the start of the year at Meffin Summer School, and I've put together a whole lot of different paintings that I will paint, show the original, and I show the pad, like this is painted on the pad that I provide. So everyone gets their own watercolor palette, brushes, pads, reference photos, a whole big kit. And this is the palette that everybody gets. So everyone gets the same stuff. So this is a cheaper pad, I think from Kmart, so it's not all that expensive. But it is good enough to practice. And the whole idea is to get started with really loose watercolor. It's just to paint and paint and paint and paint and paint again. So I made this beautiful gold Octopus, and I actually did another one on a watercolor block. I've been getting these blocks, which I'm really enjoying, actually off of Temu. Academy watercolor paper and 3GM, and it's 100% cotton. It's really lovely paper. Bango, oh, I can't say it. Bang, here goes the other one. It comes in hot press and cold press and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so just in case you want to see. And yeah, so I've been loving that. But this one here is painted on that cheaper paper that I supply for my students, because paper is important, but quantity is more important when you are learning. You know, like you don't want to be worried that each piece is costing several dollars each and whatnot. You just want to paint it. So yes, what I do with this is that I will actually, I will laminate this so it's all protected and so people can see it, and then I will take an image of this and I will print this out, you know, like 10-12 times and laminate that for the reference packs that I show. If you want to see that, I can easily make another video and show you what I supply in these classes. So what I'll do is I'll take an image of him, I'll reproduce him in a print, I will laminate him so it protects him in the future, and if you get paint on him you can just wipe him down. But what I also do is I put this image into an app and it creates a sketch for me. So then I will print a whole lot of these sketches out, and then that's how I teach my students to do a transfer. So on the back, we'll do charcoal on the back, and we'll flip them around, put them on your paper, and then they can just trace around the outline. When I did this, I don't, as you'll see, we'll sketch another one. I don't, I don't do that. I just sort of like hand scratch it onto the paper and then I'll paint it. So each one turns out different. So, and I think with this one I sort of didn't remember a certain amount of legs, so you just have to sort of make it up as you go. Today I'll be using a Da Vinci No. 2 rigger brush, about this size, and this one here is a Princeton Neptune round 16. And the paints that I'm going to be using is my handy dandy Mission Gold set, which I absolutely love this. And excuse the state of my palette. This is a creative, beautiful palette. As you know, with watercolour, you can just leave it there. You can wet your brush and just reconstitute what's on there as a paint. So there's no need to, you know, clean it every time, because it can be a waste of paint. If you do have to have a really clean palette, certainly go ahead, but I'm quite happy just to dip into whatever. And so today what we will use is going to be a mixture between a quite light, it'll be like an ultramarine blue, maybe a sap green, maybe an olive green, bit of a mixture, even maybe a little bit of yellow ochre, and also indigo. And indigo is really nice just for these darker bits. So if I use any other, I think there's like a peacock green in there that's really nice. Just sort of dab it on, and this is just a very big wet and wet project. The other thing that I do use is this Deco Colour premium pen. I'm not sure if I think they still sell these, but when I bought some last time, the lady said, oh, they're not going to make them anymore. And I was like, wow, that would be a sin against the art world, because it's one of the best gold pens I've ever had. So if you can see this, I don't know if you can. It's very luminous and beautiful. So yeah, let's start. So I'll just, like I said, hen scratch them. Sorry, that's my goose squawking out the window as always. As soon as she hears me talking, she starts going. The other thing I'll be using is just some plain table salt that I've just got that in a container here with a hole in the top for some texture. And the other thing is some bleach water. I've got probably about this much water, and the rest of it is just bleach. Common bleach from your household cleaner. The other thing that I've got is a cup of tea. Excuse me, but that's necessary. Right, so if we get started, and we just get a pen, just a normal, this is a 3B pencil. And I also have a kneader eraser, which I don't really use very often, but we can have it close by just in case of emergencies. Right, we can dip our brushes into the water. Get that ready. We'll separate the cup of tea from the water side, because that is always a dangerous thing. So this is a block. Great. No stretching involved. Perfect. So we'll go with the same sort of composition as this fella. He's a bit cute. Might turn him on this way, because that's how I sort of drew him before. So we can just sort of go with his head like that. Bit of an eye over here to match, and this wobbly old head out here. And this is how easy it is. It's just so easy. Just don't think about it. Right, so if we go right up there for the first leg, make the top of the leg a little bit thicker than the bottom of the leg, but if I count the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, well, there's 8 gaps. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Like that. And like that. I'm just going to 1, 2, 3. Count with me. Let's do this one up here, because that's really cute. Like that. Are we going to slip it in? 1, 2, 3. I just feel like we're going to, something's going to happen. One, two, three. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why have we got 7, people? And look how wide this here is. That's not going to work, see? Have to adjust as we go. How about we take that line out? So that's when I end up getting them all crunched into one. Yeah. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, that is going to work if we go. And I said we didn't need the. There. That looks all right. Look, have we got 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. And you can tell it's a little bit forced. We can paint over this. It's fine. I might just move that down a wee bit. There we go. Good. Here goes his eyes. Keep that a wee bit bulbous. I don't really know. I probably should look at octopuses on a for a reference, but I haven't. So we'll just go with that. There we go. Isn't he gorgeous? Can you see that sketch? I hope you can see it. Let's go with that. And so now we just paint him. Can you see the full page there? You can. That's good. I might not keep him there because I need to. Oh, I can put him in the plastic. Here we go. I just don't want to splash him with unnecessary paint because I am going to use him as a reference. Pop him there. Right, so now what we do is we just pick some colours to just start dropping in. And he's very, very, very wet. So you could go in and wet him first if you want. No big deal because you go over it multiple times. This is a sap green. You go over it multiple times, so just sort of slop them on. We'll go in with a green everywhere. Just go down his legs wet. Just avoid his eyes a wee bit, just because I find that easier. You can make sure that your sketch is very light to start off with, but I just paint over the top of it and it doesn't really seem to be a problem. If your paper is getting a wee bit too dry, if you're not happy with the moisture level in it, you can always spray it too. One side of him's looking a wee bit darker than the other. Add a wee bit more in. And then I just start adding a wee bit of blue. This will be like an ultramarine. In fact, it's just a big mix of a whole lot of stuff that I use. And then just drop it in like this. It's just so much fun. Just pad it and drop it, and you know, he's getting a bit dry up over here. Just rinse my brush and go over it again. See, not a problem. See how he just starts to get quite. I think this is a Persian blue that I'm using at the moment. Actually, how rich that is. Go into some ultra. So watercolors dry a lot lighter. You know, I think about 30% lighter. So don't be afraid to use a lot of colour to start off with. Right, I'm going to go in with a little bit of ochre yellow. Ochre yellow is quite an opaque colour as well, so it sort of pushes things around a wee bit. Get a bit of texture in them. Dob, dob, dob. Dob, dob, dob. See how easy it is to paint? So much fun. And then it just all blends together. You can add little dobby dob 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 bits. I don't know if that's a technical word. Here goes a little bit of olive green, a wee bit more of a vibrant green. Just dab them in there, dab. My goodness. I do use this language when I teach people too. I'm like, dab. They're like, what technique is dabbing? But anyway, bless them. At this point, we can go in with a wee bit of bleach water, and you watch how cool that is for texture. And that is just so cool. Look how quickly it makes it all awesome. Just sort of gives that octopus colours. I also like to go in with a tissue as well. Forgot to mention that. Tissues give lovely texture. Take off a bit, lighten a bit there. Just dabbing. Fill in a little bit of that white. See how it can just, when you go over with the tissue, it can just sort of bring out some lovely textures in the paint without you having to actually paint it. See, look at that, so cool. And then I can't help myself, I normally go back in and add more. So our, I'll just go in with a peacock blue, this is. Just to give them a little bit more texture and dots. We're going to add a whole lot more, but sometimes you go quiet when you start painting. It's hard to keep talking and painting sometimes. See, that is so cute. Look at him. This leg here is dried up quite a bit, so just give him a little bit of extra help over there. Sometimes you can suck off a wee bit too much water. See how it's all spreading and going all really nice because it is wet and wet. Right, let's get into our very dark indigo. And I like to just give them bits, just bits. Take some on, take some off. This just sort of gives, you know, a little bit of extra texture, a little bit of extra sort of body parts. Because obviously octopuses are all, you know, different colours and stuff. And we want to, one thing I did like doing was giving it a wee bit of a splatter. Look, gives them the texture. Splatter, splatter. Nice. I like to work when he's still wet. And you want different tones of colour, you know, like your mid-tone, your light tone, your dark tone. You need to, so adding that little bit of dark really pops him out. How's he looking on your page? Good? On your screen? Good, good, good. So, we'll also give him a little bit of a splatter here with other colours. He's under the sea with a bigger brush. Sometimes I like to push the splatters in a little bit. Just break it up a little bit from a plain dot. There we go, pretty. Right, then still go back with your indigo and we'll start putting we'll start going in. So when we hit on the dry, it's going to keep a very, you know, like a sharp line. And then when it hits into the actual octopus, I'm just randomly doing this, and I'm painting it on the wet and on the dry, just going around, and it's really hard to draw a circle with these rigger brushes, so it gives you the cool effect of being, you know, sporadic and all over the place. Which way are we going to do this? Yeah, it's really hard to get a decent circle with these brushes. Make sure you get like quite a thicker pigment and it on your brush, and that will stay in the wet paint and hold its shape a lot more. If you've got a lot of water on your brush, it will just disperse, but if you have your paint a lot thicker, it's going to stay on the wet on wet area a wee bit better. Isn't he cute? Already he's so cute. So what side do we want? Might put, gotta just decide what side his suckers are going on. So each circle is completely different and unique because it's just random and all over the place. You cannot really control it. For one, with this weird shape of a brush, and then also going into the wet. But it gives that cool illusion that we're after. He's so cute. So fun to paint something like this because, you know, we don't want him to be exact, you know. So you can go back over if you're not happy with some of the marks that you've made, or they're not looking random or dark enough. So that one there's looking a little bit darker. Go back over him. Got to remember that he's drying, so your marks will start to change. This is nice. This is, you know, mark making as well as wet on wet. Watercolor is so much fun if you just let it do its thing, do its magic. Starting to dry a little bit on that leg. Let's be quicker. So otherwise you won't get the blendy. Those nice soft edges, I'm meaning. I do know what I'm talking about most of the time. So I go over this with a gold pen as well, and that just gives it a extra wee pop of colour. I might see how it's all sort of blended here, and we've sort of lost a wee bit of its patterns. You can go in, like I said, with a thicker concentrate of paint and go back over it. Oh my god, he's so cute. You can see how this one here is a lot drier. So you can actually, after the fact, just go over that and it will soften those lines on there. So we don't want it all hard edge, you know. I want it to blend in. With a good painting, it's really nice to have mid-tones, light tones, dark tones, and also soft edges, hard edges. Hard edges meaning that this little bit here that you can see is very pronounced. Oh, we forgot his eyeballs. We forgot his eyeballs. I don't really know what I'm doing with these eyeballs, so no judgment. I'm just doing them very like that. You know, very shaky and expressionist. This, God, my goodness, my English. There we go. That's eyeballs. And bring a wee bit of that dark down to attach it to his body. Cute. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so see, as you can tell, I'm working quite fast because I'm just wanting it all to blend and you know, blend and be happy. All different size circles, so do smaller ones and bigger ones. That one there spread quite a lot. We can give it a wee bit of a suck up. Add some more ones on the thingy side of it. Such a fun, easy animal to paint, isn't it? Because, you know, we never know, he's going to change colour any second. So what's right or wrong, no one really knows. Lovely animal to paint abstractly. Right. I think I'll dry him now and then we'll just go over him with a wee bit of gold and I think he's done. That's how easy he is. I didn't even use any salt, my goodness. Can run back over him a wee bit in some of the places like that, and that's gonna work. Not really, it only works when the pigment's fresh on top of the paper. Add a wee bit of salt, give it a weeny bit of texture. Normally the salt works better if it's the pigment's fresh and also if you let it dry naturally. Like so. We'll pause that and I'll dry them and come back and do the gold. Right, we're back and he is dry. So it's a little bit lighter. I don't know if you can see that over the camera or not. So this is when I'd go in with a kneaded eraser and I'll just get a clean tissue. Wipe off the salt that didn't really work because I didn't get it on there in time because it's too busy doing his wee suckers. But yeah, you can easily use the salt. And this is when I'll go around the outline of him with a kneaded eraser just to get those remaining pencil marks off. Sometimes they'll come off underneath the paint, but it doesn't really bother me seeing them there myself. But just anything that is on the outside of the paint is nice to get rid of. And it just tidies it up nicely. Make sure that your painting is definitely dry before you do this. Otherwise you will smudge him everywhere. So there are a little few places that you can sort of see a line underneath there. There's a bit of a line there. But it's, you know, it looks like a part of the painting. So that's fine. And let's get our pen. And then I just do the same sort of thing. Random little squiggles with the pen for his rest of his suckers. Do the suckers a little bit smaller down this end than this end. Naturally they're a little bit bigger. Sometimes I finish the circle, sometimes I don't. Do bigger ones and smaller ones. See how it just makes that pop? Like, can you see that? So cool. I mean, this now is considered probably, now it's mixed media. It's not a traditional watercolor, but let's have fun. Painting is about having fun, my friends. I did one and shared it on my TikTok, and straight away someone commented and said, oh my goodness, is that for sale? So the original one that I did is on its way to Australia, so that's nice. All my art that you see is always for sale. Everything's for sale. I sell in cafes and galleries and online and on my own website, which is getting a revamp at the moment, so be patient with that. But hopefully, if you're seeing this a few months down the track, it should be up and running. Doesn't take long to do this. Just alternate them. Sometimes I just only put 2, sometimes I put 3, half on the body, on the leg, half not. Get smaller as you go down. See, he's so cute. Hopefully that's showing how reflectively good it is. And then I've just been doing a couple of wee dots with gold up onto their bodies, because they, you know, they change colour, they have these wee flecks all through them. Aren't octopuses gorgeous? So I'm just doing little clusters, a few little ones above his eyes, pretending they're his eyebrows. Just give him a couple little bits, just to tie in the rest of, you know, just to connect it all, really, isn't it? Look, there he is. I'll get you down and see if you can see it from a different direction or angle or light source. He's so gorgeous. How cute and easy. Please give him a try. Comment if you need any help with your colour choices. It doesn't really matter. Just blend in green and blues. Doesn't matter what ones that you're going to do. And a wee bit of your ochre yellow would be nice. And it just gives that motley type look to him. So please give it a go. Let me know if you try it. Let me know if you like him. Keep an eye on how many legs you've got. And all the best. Much love.